Edward Bear. Edward Bear is the mascot of Lamplight Studio Pictures and is the first ever character that I created. He was created on September 10th, 2019. Edward Bear stars an Andean bear named Edward Bear, a dire wolf named Wolfio, a pygmy hog named Peggy Piglet, a Caspian tiger named Tina, and a lot of characters, including Mrs. and Mr. Roo, the Joeys, Calvin Capybara, the beautiful, simplistic world of Isaiah Summons. This book is a lot more different than a lot of my other books. Instead of colorful drawings of funny anthropomorphic animals, this book contains funny drawings of anthropomorphic animals. It's art gallery. Henry Lays an Egg. Henry Lays an Egg is a wholesome family book about an angry panda named Henry, his wife Susanna, and their adopted baby chicken named Chick. Peter the Polar Bear's Ice Cold Comics. In this book, the main character, Peter the Polar Bear, has to encounter new civilians. A walrus named Bulbous, who unnaturally has fur, a Arctic fox named Sly, and a penguin named Avery. As him and his girlfriend, or wife, Petunia Polar Bear, have to deal with them after they come snowed in from a blizzard. Grim and Poppy. Grim and Poppy is the first fully adult flat book out of all of these. In this book, a female sheep named Poppy and a kind young wolf named Grim come together to fear their urges. Grim wants to become a vegetarian. Meanwhile, Poppy wants to become a carnivore. Dexter the Dog, Bad to the Bone. Dexter the Dog, Bad to the Bone is a horror/comedy comic book about a deprived, manipulative dog named Dexter going into a family's house in suburbia. He does multiple acts like having puppies with the neighbor's French poodle named Ellie, attacking the neighbor's kid, and stealing $200 worth of chew toys. Kenji and Hannah on a morning drive. Kenji and Hannah is a 4-panel comic strip book about a female tiger named Hannah and her husband, a lion named Kenji, as they go on a morning drive. Yeah, that's basically it. Croc and her bestie Beaver. Not only is this the first book that Daisy Hill County was actually a real place, this is the first time we get to see the residents. Now, the two main characters of this book are Beaver, narcissistic anthropomorphic Beaver, and his dim-witted but well-meaning best friend, Croc, as they go on adventures in a rough life. It's not easy being a bum for Beaver. Cocaine Deer. Cocaine Deer, although sounding a lot like Cocaine Bear, is actually an original story besides the cover art. The story goes about a man getting in a shootout with a bunch of police officers and ended up getting killed, to which a male buck deer in heat ends up eating. Then after, he begins to mate, and in his genes are the levels of cocaine which are high. So it's basically like rabies, but it's cocaine deer fueled, I guess. The sheriff and the cops' only goal is to eradicate Buck's children. Keep on truckin'. This is the first ever book I made, which is actually sad. This book is about an orphaned little cat named Pete and his mother, Nicole, as they have to deal with the likes of becoming strays. They end up meeting a bloodhound named Bruce, along with a pampered British dog named Elizabeth, along with an Australian-speaking dog named Jasper, along with a sneaky possum named Russell, and last but not least, a raccoon named Rocky. This book is actually the first ever sad book in the series. Sucka and Bunby Super Spies. This book was a combination of two stories, John Wick and Spy X Family. In this story, there's a female spotless Dalmatian named Sucka who has a heart with no emotions. So, Her loving boss, named, well, Boss, has to send her on missions to execute people. She's a spy, an executor, a mafia boss, a hitman, an assassin, and a lot of other illegal stuff. But she ends up going back to her nice ways when a small kitten named Bunby teaches her that there is more to life than killing. Leroy the Tiger. Leroy the Tiger, originally going to be named City Safari, is a story about a little orphaned kitten who, when he grows up, turns out to be a fully grown Bengal tiger. When his owner has to release him back into the wild, he falls in love with a black panther named Polly and becomes friends with a mischievous African wild dog named Jim, along with a dim-witted, kind-hearted, well-meaning sun bear named David. David ends up meeting a female sun bear named Daisy, and they end up having cubs in the end of the story. The Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf. This is an adult comedy book about, which is basically the retelling of the Three Little Pigs, except with a more mature twist. In this story, the wolf ends up eating the three little pigs because when the third brother keeps pressing a button, the house explodes, causing them to literally get cooked alive. The parents, instead of grieving their children, shrug it off and end up having three more children. Baby, please, I'm just kidding around. In this story, a male British short haired cat named Koibito accidentally breaks the heart of a female calico cat named Ame. So he tries everything in his power to try to bring her back in. The quote of the book is, "She's a perfect girl, but he's a feline felon." Schizo the Jaguar. In this drama reality series, an attractive young woman named Hannah comes to the best detective in town, a male jaguar named Schizo, and goes to call for her pet's murder. Willow the Spirit Bear is an adult comedy digital comic book on my iPad, which is about a bear spirit. Yes, it's a spirit in the form of a bear. Willow, who has best friends, an otter named Ozzy, a tiger named Jimmy, a pug named Pickles, and a rabbit named Oliver. As they all go on adventures, we can't forget about Kiki the killer koala. Linda Lion and Jasper Hyena is a different story. In this story, it revolves around an introverted sad hyena named Jasper and an energetic female lioness named Linda as they both go on adventures together. Biggie Bear is a digital animated series, which is also a comic book, based on the same character. Biggie Bear is about a male grizzly bear named Biggie, a rabbit named Funny Bunny, a Dalmatian named Spots, and a female pussycat named Dolly. Barnyard Bash. Barnyard Bash is a comedic book about a bunch of farm animals. Jasper the dog, Helen the hen, Oyster the pig, Jack the horse, Wally Wolf and the Big Bloated Bear, and Vixie the Fox, and Leggy Lamb. Brownie and Pinky is an adventure mystical Japanese style book about two bears, one that's pink named Pinky and one that's brown named Brownie, as they go on wonderful magical adventures together in Daisy Hill County's forests. Marmot Marriage is a cute little digital series about um a marmot's marriage. Yeah, two little rodents. Ivan and Tom is another digital series that I haven't released yet about two best friends. Tom, who is Caucasian, and Ivan, who is, well, he's a Latino. Although they're a weird duo, they are definitely best friends, and they are the only book characters or series characters in this matter who are only about humans. There's not a single animal in this book.